What's up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya. If this is your very first time here. Today, we are going to be doing another installment of my Basic Babe series. If you are new, we create full looks using only 5 or 6 products or more no makeup looks using the minimal amount of steps. Today is more focused on holiday glam, specifically Thanksgiving. But today we are also focusing on mask-friendly makeup. Before we hop into it, please make sure that you hit subscribe below if you have not yet, so that you are updated when new videos come out. Also make sure that you hit that notification bell as well, so that you are updated when new videos go up. All right, my loves. Let's do it. So we are back with another Basic Babe, but we are going more for a holiday vibe today. Since Thanksgiving is next week, but we are also going to be doing a full glam Thanksgiving tutorial as well. So look out for that. But this one is for my ladies who aren't as experienced, or you don't like to use a whole bunch of products, but you still want a glam type of look for a holiday event or family time or whatever you got going on. If you don't know, there is a no count list for the Basic Babe series. Brows usually do not count. Also, primer does not count because we need to take care of our skin. Gloss doesn't count if we decide to go in with a gloss. If it's any other lip color, it does count. And I feel like I have another don't count, but I think those are the, how could I forget? Lashes. Lashes and mascara do not count either. Sorry. So I'm gonna start by filling in my brows. But the product that I'm using is my Joa Brow Down To Me Precision Pencil in the shade, I believe is in Black Brown. And I've been using this pencil a lot lately, primarily for the precision and how small the tip is. I really can create brow hairs if I want, even though y'all know I don't really be doing that. It really helps me to get a very nice, precise brow. And it's even good for people who want more, you know, natural boy brows. It allows you to create brow hairs. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put on my primer. This is my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Y'all know the reason I feel like brows do not count is because I feel like it's relative. Some people mess with their brows, some people like sharp brows like me, some people like natural brows and don't do anything to their brows. It's so different for everybody, so I didn't necessarily want to count it. I want to count most of the things that we're all going to use. So as you can see, we are starting with the face because I want to use every product one and done. I don't want to be dipping back into stuff. We start with eyes first. We got to use concealer, but then we got to go back into concealer for the face. We ain't doing all that. We are not using a foundation today. I wanted a very mask friendly type of look. I'm going to use just a concealer today. The concealer that I'm using is my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer, and this is in the shade Dark to Deep. And the reason I'm going for this is not only does it give me natural coverage, but it is also not a super light shade. If you're just going in with concealer, I don't recommend going into something that's super bright. You want something that's a lot more tailored to highlighting as well as just concealing. For some of you guys, this would be like a skin toned concealer shade, but I want it a little bit lighter. That way I can conceal while also highlighting as well. So I did put it on my eyes to prime as well as in this area. So I'm just gonna blend it out with my sponge. And if you like to sculpt out your brows, this is the time to do it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out too. Looking at this technique, you have to know how important skincare is to just be able to use concealer. I feel like skincare is like the #1 thing you need to do to get away with these types of looks. Now I'm patting my excess that's left on this sponge, not adding any more product, and putting it like in the middle part of my forehead, but obviously no foundation is being used. And the goal also is not to add a lot of product right here, because this is where our mask is. It's going right up here. So while it might get all up in here, all of this is not gonna be bothered. We don't want lines of demarcation from the mask and it kind of like making you sweat underneath how it does. Girl, we ain't got, no time for that. So with my sponge, I'm going around where that concealer is and making sure there's no lines of demarcation around it. You might also want to do this with a brush. So maybe a brush that has your foundation on it or something like that. Now I didn't put a lot of concealer on my nose. It's really up to you, but I don't want a lot on my nose, primarily because my mask is gonna be covering up half of my nose. I am going to use my bronzer to more sculpt it out anyway, so concealer is not necessarily needed. So I am gonna take my powder. Today I'm going to use my Mented powder, and I am still gonna go in with a lighter powder underneath the eyes. So pressing this into the skin where we put the concealer, but I am taking a big fluffier brush, dipping into the powder, and just dusting it all over the face, especially in the areas that's gonna be covered up with the mask. But this is gonna just start to make the skin look a lot more natural in the places where we put the concealer. And now we looking a little ashy. We want to go ahead in with our bronzer, which is just gonna bronze up the face. This is my Mented bronzer, taking a brush. This one in particular is my powder blush brush from Sigma. It's a F10. And I'm just going to start to warm up the cheeks. And I'm just going in circular motions because I don't want to be super sculpted. I just want to bring color into the face. This kind of helps to make it look like a full makeup look. And now I'm also going to do the perimeter of my forehead, which is going to give the exact same effect. The last thing that I am gonna do with this is go ahead and sculpt my nose out a little bit. I'm gonna take just a normal blending brush and dip into my bronzer, blow it off, and start to sculpt around my nose. Just doing little things with the bronzer, I believe, helps it look like you have on a full face of makeup, like you went in on your beat when you really, really didn't. Bronzer is a huge staple that you should have, especially if you more basic. And using a blending brush makes it a lot easier for blending. It's being applied and blended at the same time. So far we have concealer, powder, and bronzer. That's all you looking at right there. The next thing I'm going to do is my highlight, because this is gonna be it for the face. For highlighter, I'm gonna use my Revolution Pro Supreme highlighter. I'm gonna take this more gold shade here and just highlight my face up. Some people don't like highlighter, but for me, especially if you're going for something a little bit more natural and basic, I feel like highlighter makes you also look like you have on a full face of makeup. It kind of creates an illusion and kind of takes the attention away from the fact that you don't have on a full face of makeup. I'm using a nice big fluffier brush that's tapered so you can get your location where you need it to go, but it also, like I said with the nose, blends it out at the same time. Now, the next thing I'm about to say is anybody who wears makeup in this climate where we have to wear mask, buy you some waterproof powder. It will save your life, because what waterproof powder does is it helps to get rid of or prevent lines of demarcation that's caused by your mask. Helps your makeup not to melt underneath your mask. To make this waterproof, which you could have used this also to set your face in general, but I'm using it as an extra step, but this kind of still goes with powder. It is pressed, but this is the all-nighter waterproof setting powder from Urban Decay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dip into it. It's completely translucent, as you can see, and I'm just gonna lightly dust over my face. And I'm putting this everywhere because it is translucent, works for any skin tone. I'm also putting this over the highlighter because that is going to be extremely helpful with the mask on as well. It's going to keep it in place, and we need as much help as we can get. But I'm really focusing this right here on the top of the nose, as well as around this area where our mask is going to be hitting our face, because we about to make this basic look last all day long. Sometimes Thanksgiving can be a long day. So far we have our 4 steps for our face, and now we're gonna hop right into the eyes. So many brands have been coming out with holiday palettes and glitters and collections, and I'm not mad at it. So today we're hopping into our first holiday collection of the season. This one is the Side by Side nude palette from Nabla. More on the neutral side, which I'm cool with, and not super bright colors, because typically that's not what we go for holiday times. We go more for the shimmer, for the glitter, for the slay, you know. We're gonna keep this pretty simple for beginners. My concealer is creasing, so I'm just gonna take my sponge and just start to blend that out a little bit before we go in. So I'm actually gonna take my finger, I'm dipping into Paradoso and Body and Soul, and I'm putting both of those together, mixed together, on my lid. And I'm doing this with my finger. Sometimes it's hard to do with your finger when you have these long talons. But the point is, we're just pressing it onto the middle of the lid, and then I'm doing sweeping motions to bring it across to kind of blend it at the same time. But I will say, especially if you do have nails, you will need to go in with a brush regardless, because you gotta get up in this piece right here. I'm just taking this flat shader brush and making sure that shade is there as well. Doing the same thing on the other eye, making sure I keep it light and sweeping across so that I am blending it at the same time. And if you notice, we are doing the lighter shimmer shade first, and that is on purpose. because it's gonna make it easier for us to do like a little corner matte shade. And that's about it for that color. You shouldn't have to do a whole lot extra more with it since you already use your finger to kind of blend it out. Then I'm just gonna take a normal blending brush. I'm gonna dip here into the shade Burnt Sienna. I don't wanna go super, super dark, so I think I'm gonna go into this shade here. And in circular motions, just work that into the corner of the eye. And that's pretty much it. So of course you don't have to do the colors that I did or anything like that. It could be whatever your combination is based on what you're wearing or what you want your eyes to look like. But it's a real simple and easy eyeshadow look to do. 2 shades and done. We're doing a really thin line of that shade on the bottom lash line. And I'm also taking the same brush from the bottom lash line and I'm gonna press that darker shade right on the corner of the eye. Well, we're just creating more of a smokier feel. Really easy eyeshadow combination, but it still looks like, girl, it's the holidays, you know? Now this next part is optional. Do not be coming for me, sis. Okay, some of y'all know that I am the glitter queen. So this collection did also come with the Ruby Lights glitter palette, and I'm just gonna do something really, really simple and easy. I'm just gonna take a combination of these 2 glitters, and I'm taking this flat shader brush and I'm just pressing into each one of them, and I'm simply, this is not a mirror, I know y'all saw that. It's okay, I'm not embarrassed. And I'm just gonna press that glitter right on our lid. Literally just a couple of presses and now you have a glittery holiday look. It's also not that like boisterous. It's not like, oh my gosh, she's doing the most. I love little glitter palettes like this because you're able to just add a little pizzazz to a look without looking like you're doing a lot. Glitter doesn't have to be piled on to where you can't see the shadow underneath or your skin underneath. It can be put on very lightly so that you get the effect of it, but it's not too much. So at this point, it is time for lashes. Of course, I am going to throw on some falsies and then do my mascara on the bottom lash line, but whatever it is that you want to do, it's perfectly cool because it does not count. I'm just saying. The reason that the eyes were kind of extra today was because, especially since this is supposed to be more for a mask and holidays, your eyes gotta be popping, girl. We may not be able to see the lip. And if we can't see the lip, we need the eyes to say it's the holidays, you know? So that's why I wanted to do a little bit more extra on the eyes. Like I said, the glitter is optional, but it's really not as hard as it looks. I just wanna make things seem as easy as possible for you guys because it's doable, even if you don't have a lot of experience. This is our face, y'all. What do we do? Okay, let's start from the jump. We have concealer, we have powder, we have bronzer, we have highlight, we have eyes. Our last thing is the lips. It is time. It's time for liquid lipstick. If you are not a liquid lipstick person or you don't want to wear a lip color for the holidays, then I say just put on something nice and clear, lip oil, lip balm, and you're good to go because people barely gonna see your lips anyway. Well, once you're chowing down, yeah. But I feel like liquid lipstick is like the perfect thing to wear during the season, especially when you're eating a whole lot or you're gonna be around a lot of people. You need a formula that's not going to crack, and you guys know I love the OFRA liquid lipsticks for that reason. My first option was the Brooklyn liquid lipstick, which I did demonstrate in my lip video last week for fall. So this is the first thing that we're going to try. I think I'm gonna try another one as well, but first let's try this one. So this is Brooklyn with this look, which I think is absolutely beautiful. It's perfect for the season. I absolutely love it. We really can do whatever we want. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a different color. So I am gonna go with a different color only because I feel like the deeper lip is bringing attention to the fact that I don't have a lot of makeup in this area, or if not at all. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the shade. So this shade is my KVD Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Plath. And this is perfect. This is perfect because I feel like it is fall colors. It looks, you look like the Thanksgiving centerpiece. Is what I'm getting with this, and I think it's dope. And this is our full basic babe face for the holiday, Thanksgiving holiday to be exact. All right, y'all, so that wraps it up for today's video. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, for those of you who have holiday events to hit, but you don't wanna wear a whole lot of makeup, but you wanna look like you're wearing a lot of makeup. I feel like this is perfect. If you like this video, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Comment below, let me know what you thought. Also make sure that you hit subscribe below if you have not yet, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.